So we are in the tradition of Vipassana meditation or insight meditation, which really describes so clearly and succinctly why we're doing what we're doing, because we want to have sight into, although I don't want to really talk about sight, but that's the way it's translated. So discernment into, understanding into, and the traditional word is sight into. Our experience as it is. So it's interesting because I think of Erhard, the guy who started the it wasn't lamppost. The what was that movement in the 70s? Erhard, someone started it, a German guy, and just slips my mind. Or maybe it'll come to me and maybe it won't. And then it changed its name to Light something. I think Light something. Anyway, so and he made a commitment to be truthful and not to lie and not to rationalize, but to be honest about every experience and to be honest in his speech. And he made this deep commitment. And after about 9 months, he had an awakening experience. And that became the basis for these teachings and the organization that he created. So that always stuck with me because it was so close to this tradition of being willing to be honest and truthful to ourselves. Like, oh, this is my experience. And I know the ways that greed and aversion come in are not directly in our control. So sometimes they're like, oh, I don't like this experience. Sorry about that. I'm just going to do my own thing and go this way or that way. So some of our honesty about our experience is acknowledging those energies, the moments of confusion, the moments of going for one experience and pushing another away. And the moments when our wandering mind takes over, and sometimes takes over. Really, you're still like into wandering mind? Okay, and then this thought, and then solving that problem. Okay, this is how it is. Like that. Like this is how it is. And that honesty, it's so beautiful. And it's the condition both for the naming of self when it is experienced that way, or the naming of freedom when it's experienced with just acknowledgement. You know, that capacity to hold through and stay with our experience as it is the grounds of insight. It's the grounds of that knowing it and knowing it and knowing it, and then it clicks into a realization or opens up into a realization, you know, or the pieces fit together and you're like, yeah, I kind of knew that all the time anyway, but now I'm really grokking it on a non-conceptual level. So we could describe this kind of truthfulness or honesty as insight meditation, because we're discerning or seeing into our experience as it is. And the traditional invitation in this in this lineage of insight meditation is that once the mind feels relatively stable, and we've been using anchor as the place where we keep coming back to and then staying, that the mind is invited to open up. And so then we open up and allow whatever's arising to arise: sounds, emotions, thoughts, the predominance of pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, body sensations, taste in the mouth. I have one that's very dominant because I just took my counterattack. And or if there's a drone coming right over, then sound is predominant, like just takes over, and then that is what's happening. So in this framework, as we spoke before, as I spoke maybe and you listened, there isn't like a solid person, conductor, or self who's navigating all this. That experience is arising according to the sense space and passing away, and arising and passing away. And when we talk about insight, we're talking about that perspective and perception into the arising and passing away of all experience, not just the breath, because there's something more palpable. Though there are different teachers who say different things. You know, U Pandita, when I sat with him, was just breath all the time, and knowing other experiences and coming back to the breath. U Tejaniya never talked about any anchor. He said the anchor wasn't important. What's important is that you just know any experience. You don't even have to come to the meditation hall, because there's no, whatever you're feeling or experiencing or noting or eating or seeing or hearing or smelling, that's what the practice is acknowledging that and your relationship to it. Basically, the emphasis was on, are you present? Do you have faith? Are you being kind? Is there right effort? So that's the most important thing. The actual object of the experience isn't that important. What's important is your relationship to it and the qualities in the mind that are there when you're relating to your experience. So in the tradition of Vipassana, there is a wide range. In this lineage, there was a little more emphasis on the body, from breath into sweeping. But I like the Mahasi Sayadaw teaching, which invites us, once the mind has been stabilized, to open up to everything. So I wanted to guide us a little bit in that this morning. And again, with that intention of, can I be interested? Can I trust that my experience and my knowing of it is my guide into a deeper realization about my life? Because that's the path that the Buddha outlines for us in the Satipatthana Sutta. And he's so emphatic about it for those of you who are newer in the practice and haven't read that sutta. He just says, like, if you are mindful of these four foundations, all four, so, you know, the body, feelings, emotions, feelings as in pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral, emotions and mental formations, and then the fourth foundation, which I spoke about the last few days. If you are continuously mindful of these, it is lawful that that realization will occur. So, of course, we're not continuously mindful, which because we're learning, you know, we're learning. and strengthening that over time. So, but there are moments when we are more mindful, and you all have experienced that, where it's not just half a breath before the mind splits the scene, but maybe 2 breaths. So in the Buddha's invitation of those foundations, he's very clear. And so perhaps we could rest a little bit in that faith. Not that we have to get anywhere, but that we are on a path that invites and that will create the conditions for this opening and realization. And that it is lawful. And in a way that's beautiful, because then we can be patient and we can let go of believing the goal striving, like I have to get somewhere, and more rest in that confidence and faith. I am sitting in a lineage of teachers who have practiced this and themselves have experienced insight. And I'm part of this lineage that's happened for 2,600 years. And no one has contradicted that. No one has said, no, this doesn't work. Who has worked on this for many years. We can finesse around it. We can emphasize different things in the ways that Mel spoke about so beautifully. Like for some people, that warrior effort, especially Sokni Rinpoche says in some Asian cultures where the culture tends to be very laid back, making an effort and being a warrior is very useful, confronting the object. And exactly on that retreat, we were in the meditation hall at 4 a.m. and we didn't go to bed until 10:30 p.m. Or 11. So just on. And then for others of us who tend to do that anyway, way too much, then we invite a relaxation and opening, a surrendering into allowing it, allowing this experience to be received. And it isn't always one. Sometimes we have to be warriors. Sometimes we have to say, no, I'm not opening the computer. I am a warrior. I am honoring and respecting, containing this sacred space. Yeah. And then other times we're like, oh yeah, I'm really wanting a certain experience. I can let go and relax because the path is lawful. And all these thousands, hundreds of thousands of people have practiced and have written beautiful poems about their realization. Just to name one little expression of some early nuns. So then, let's have a go. Just taking a few moments to find your way into your own connection. Beginning with how you anchor, whether it's with the breath or body or sound or matter. And then see if you would like to open up from that focus. And beginning with allowing the light acknowledgement of your posture in your sitting or lying down. And opening to sound or the silence. In the background is the posture. Acknowledging what energies are present for you. Quiet or agitated. Distracted or present. The feeling turn pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral in this overall experience. We can relax because life is living through us. It's not going to stop, or at least not now unless it's a big surprise. So we can relax and let the different expressions of life arise like a fountain, one of those fountains shooting up and then dying down that kids play with in playgrounds. Being present and seeing or discerning how sound comes and goes, or taste, or body sensation, or thoughts. Relaxed awareness co-arises with each experience, so you can relax and let awareness be aware of whatever sense space is being activated. We could almost say awareness rests on any one of those experiences, relaxing and just allowing these different arisings and passings. Awareness will know them. And it's so quickly happening that it seems continuous. And if the mind settles on one thing, no problem, it'll change. Staying loose and open. And if you find yourself distracted, no problem. Let's come back to your anchor then. Relaxing, resting in faith. The path will carry us. allowing awareness to be aware with whatever is co-arising with it. Sensation, thought, feeling, emotion, mental factor. Sound. Knowing, knowing experience as it is. Thank you.